Hello, YouTube. Welcome to this week. We're going to be discussing episodes 1 and 2 of the new Disney Plus series, The Bad Batch. This is Lil.
This is Steve.
And this is Sean.
So, Sean, I'm throwing it to you again first. You like to start these off, and
Yes.
The Bad Batch is, continuation from the Clone Wars.
Of course, episode 1 through 4 of season 7. Just to let you guys know, if you haven't seen it yet, you can go back and watch 1 through 4, and that's all introduction to the Bad Batch.
But I don't think you need to watch episodes 1 through 4. I think it'll help. It'll help. But I
have not watched episodes 1 through 4 of that, but I have watched episodes 1 and 2 of this.
Okay, here's my question then to you, Steve. I know you will probably go back and watch it, but do you think that you didn't understand what was going on? You didn't get
I understand. I got it.
Yeah. So
I barely have a passing knowledge of Clone Wars and Rebels because I listen to you guys talk about it, so I pick up that knowledge here and there. I've seen videos, I've seen episodes here and there, but I knew who Caleb was. I knew that's fucking Kanan from Rebels. I got that.
Is it Kanan though?
Yes, that's fucking Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah. Although Caleb is.
I just want to make sure.
Okay. I was like, wait a second. What?
I'm just.
He had the same eyes.
I know. I'm just putting the question out there to make sure.
Make sure of what?
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
It's in the comics. It's in the comics, and the fucked up part is in the comics is different.
But I didn't read the comics.
What happens in the comics, Sean?
Well, it happens the same way, but it's different. It doesn't happen that way because they're in a fire or they're like next to a campfire, and then all of a sudden they get the order, and then they turn. So it's in the dark time, and it doesn't happen that way. So I'm very interested of why they told this story when they really didn't have to. And the Bad Batch wasn't even there in the comic. And the comic's supposed to be canon. So that's why I'm like,
I guess I like it better this way.
And that's kind of why I was
but Caleb's name is Kanan. Like Caleb.
Well, because I know his voice by Freddie Prinze because it threw me off. I know it was a little different, but exactly. I was like, but he's called Caleb Doom here. Is he called Caleb Caleb Doom in the comic?
Yeah. His name is Caleb.
Okay, just want to make sure. That's where I was.
It's definitely Kanan. He changed his name actually. Shit, my bad.
No.
If you read the story, if you actually listen to the story, Rebels, he actually changed his name during that time when he was with Hera, and they were having their own adventure going on, and they actually first met. He changed his name, and it's so fucked up because you got to go deep into it, man. It's so.
But even without that knowledge, I got that link. I was like, oh, okay, so this is nice, and I've seen all the films, so I know what Order 66 is. And, seeing this happen all felt good.
Nice. What did you think about the Bad Batch? I mean, Sean, I know you have experience with them, but the different characters, they're different personalities, I guess.
Who are you asking? Me?
Yeah, you, Steve.
All right, so I love Wrecker. I just think he's just this big, lovable, dopey dude. I like Tech. I want to like Crosshairs. I hope that we get some more with that. I was hoping that he would kind of come around. It's not really what it looks like after episodes 1 and 2, but you know who I love the most? I don't really care about Hunter that much. I really don't. He's just kind of bland. I like Echo the most of everybody because Echo is not one of the Bad Batch. He's a regular. They call him Regs. he's one of the regular stormtroopers that got blown up on a mission and put back together cybernetically and then given to the Bad Batch to be part of their crew.
Yes, and if you don't know
I fucking
history,
love that.
So what happens is he got blown up. Rex he didn't really leave him, but he got injured during because he's part of the 501st, and that's Rex battalion and Anakin's battalion, and Rex went back. Actually, they got a call, or they got like there was a thing where they were in battle, and Rex started to feel that there was something wrong with the battle segments, and they felt familiar, and they knew everything that they could do. So they found out that they captured Echo, and they used him, and they picked him apart, and they used his mind to control the battles. So what happens is Rex feels it, and he goes to find Echo, and that's the part, Steve, that I want you to see, because that battle with the Bad Batch is great, because Anakin's in there too, and it's like they bring all that story together, and it's a great story. So definitely, if you get a chance to check it out. But Echo is part of the 501st, but he decided to leave to go with the Bad Batch because he felt different. And the Bad Batch, as you can see, they are different clones. They're engineered clones that can do fucking great things.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's why I love the Bad Batch, because they're so different from the clones, and I love that you can actually do a live action with the Bad Batch and not have to worry about using its facial recognition. Tamara Morrison. Yeah, you can just change it up. So that's a great thing, and I think that they have something here that they can kind of spin off if they wanted to later.
They definitely could. I mean, I could definitely see either them. I mean, if they go back and do another timepiece in live action, because they'd be old as shit.
It's weird because
they could bring him in Mandalorian. They could.
Well, let me tell you, in the comics, they have a fucking stormtrooper-esque Bad Batch crew. I don't know if they changed them to the Bad Batch. No one knows that. But if you see these stormtroopers, I think they're called the Shadow Team or some shit. They have all white stormtrooper helmets, but each one is different. One is big, one that they look like the Bad Batch. And they added one who is actually a girl, who is actually a fucking clone. Like, it's like, so, like, are they playing to
Oh, that has to be like, maybe they're going to turn into that group.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but I'm hoping they don't, because they're fucking bad, because they go against Luke Skywalker at some point. So it's very interesting of how they're playing this, and I'm very curious to see where it goes.
Well, like, I really wanted...
but clones age, so I don't know...
Because Crosshairs was already being a bitch, like, immediately. He was like, no, I gotta shoot the Padawan, gotta do this, gotta blah, blah, blah. And, like, he had this attitude about him the whole time, and it transcends into Episode 2.
Well, that's the inhibitor chip.
I know, and it was more strong in him than it was in the others, and then they push it. I was really hoping that scene in the hangar bay with all of them, where, like, him and Hunter kind of stood face to face, and he was behind all those other troopers with that gun. I was hoping he was going to lower that gun and just, bam, blast one of those troopers right in the back of the fucking head. I was like, come on, please, 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 because I don't want to hate any of these guys. I like them all.
Right.
And I want to have one guy kind of be an asshole, you know, and be like that stickler in the group. But now they don't have that. They just have all the guys that love each other, and they left. They ditched Crosshairs because he's tried to murder all of them.
But his suit was his suit was sick, though.
That black suit?
Yeah, Shadow Trooper.
But I'm okay with that, because I don't think Crosshairs, because they established it right from the go that he wasn't going to bend, you know, because, like, you heard him say, like, when they were trying to kill Kanan, like, a good soldier follows orders. A good soldier follows orders. I get that.
But there's also what are the tall neck aliens called, Sean?
The ones at Camino?
Yeah.
Camino. The Camino. Yeah, those guys. I don't know the names of them. But there's that Camino lady is working against the Empire.
Right.
She showed it. She tried to help the Bad Batch. She was
the Empire's
her bays open.
The Empire's beginning to turn that, you know, they're turning into the Empire now. So the clones really aren't needed anymore. And the El Caminos, The Camino.
El Caminos.
I always forget.
It's fine. I'll call them the El Caminos.
Yeah.
I like that.
They feel like that their side this is what they did. Like they produced clones, and now they don't need clones now. And as you can see, General Tarkin doesn't fucking like clones.
That was awesome seeing him back.
Dope.
I was like, and Sean, I wanted to say too about the animation style. It looks similar to Clone Wars and Rebels and all that, but no, is it? Because I watched it on my big screen, and you could see like the individual brush strokes of somebody digitally painting like on their skin and shit like that. I was like, man, that's a lot of texturing right there. That looks like, it almost looks like a 3D painting come to life.
You got to watch the Clone Wars, and you got to go back and watch the last season. They start to use that brush stroke
because the first season was so smooth.
Yeah, the first seasons weren't really great, but they were good. But now, if you watch season 7, they use that, and you can see Ahsoka, like when they give Ahsoka her new helmets, like her new squad, you can see the brushstroke in the orange, and it looks great. Okay. So you gotta check that out.
I did like that. I did like that. In episode 2, they come across another guy named Cut.
Yes, he's from
Clone Wars. Okay, yeah. So I was lost with that.
It's a deep cut. It's deep because it's like, oh shit, like Rex found him before. So, and he found that clones can be different outside of the army, and they can have lives, and they can have kids and stuff like that. So Rex felt like he can have a life, and that's why I love Captain Rex so much, because in the Clone Wars they made him such a canon figure that they gave him a personality, and they gave him like, oh shit, like this is what Captain Rex is, and he's a good dude, like, and I think that's why in 7 they made that change, and why Dave Filoni made Rex canon to Return of the Jedi.
Well, again, because I liked a lot of those characters, especially in like watching like even episode 2, like you have like Commander Cody, and Captain Rex in there and all that, and I was just like, when they all turned bad, I was like, man, that fucking sucks, because I like some of these guys. They were good guys. But they didn't all turn bad.
Yeah. Well, they did, because that inhibitor chip inside of them, only reason Rex didn't change is because of Ahsoka and the effort that she put in, because that was her friend. Like, that was deep. Like, it was real. Like, Ahsoka is like deep to them, because they fought in the same war, and they respected her. So, and Ahsoka loves Rex. So it's like she had to try to do that. When you watch season 7, you'll start to see, those who haven't watched it, you'll see it's a deep cut, man. And it really made me fucking, like, I got emotional in season 7. Like, that shit got me emotional, because those last 4 episodes and the way they played it just made it so much more better. And it made these characters now more significant in the Star Wars universe, and that's what's so phenomenal about this.
Well,
amazing.
I like the way that this show is kind of telling what happens immediately after.
Yes,
Order 66. Because Order 66 happens in episode 3, and then we skip ahead 20 years or whatever it is until we get to episode 4. There's no real filling in the blanks unless you're talking about Rebels or comics or the Rogue One film or that, but that's it. And Rogue One even took place directly before episode 4, so there was still a huge gap there.
With 15 years, right? Like,
but here, this is showing kind of what happens directly after. I liked how they were they were with Cut on that one planet, and they were like, "Oh, all your credits aren't worth shit. You got to get this other number from the fucking Empire, because that's how shit's getting run now." And it's like, man, like all these little details just filling in those stories
Dave Filoni,
feels real fucking good, man.
That motherfucker, man, yo.
Sean, I know I was giving you guys shit last night, Sean, you were texting, and I was like giving you guys a bunch of business. I was gonna watch it, but I didn't watch Rebels, and I've tried to watch Rebels, and I think it's still a little. I find those episodes a little too kiddie for me. They're too Disney Channel-ish. I know there's episodes that get later on that get better.
It's.
But I tried to start at the beginning, and watching episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm like, I don't like this.
It's tough. I know it is tough. The Clone Wars is the same way. It is. If you're not a diehard Star Wars fan, you will get like, oh, this is boring as shit. But because I had to say me and Lil are deep cut into Star Wars, that we can go through and follow it. And I know it's hard, Steve, but when you get into later on in the Clone Wars, you get later on to Rebels, it starts to get deep and it hits you, because you know Steve, you know Star Wars.
I do know Star Wars.
And it starts to get to you like, oh shit, this got deep fucking quick.
Well, it did when
it starts to tie in.
It did with Tarkin. I mean, I'm telling you, I put this show on just so I could have it on. I was doing some cleaning in my room and like doing other shit. I was like, I'll just put this on, and so I have some passing knowledge of what happened to do the review. I got stuck. I stopped doing everything I was doing. I was just glued to the screen. I don't know what it is about this show in particular that grabbed me way more than Rebels did or Clone Wars, but I love the characters. I love the animation style here. It just feels a little bit different to me than Rebels did. A little bit different, not completely different. It's still the same style, but I'm hooked. Like, I'm glued into this shit. I had a great time. Don't know if I like Omega very much. It feels like that's kind of the kid angle getting in.
Of course,
and like I said,
that kid angle
and Hunter, again, for me, it feels like the main character. However, I feel like he's the one I like the least. I still like him. He's fine. But I like him the least out of everybody. Like, I like Tech. I love Wrecker and what's his name? The other guy, the robot guy. Echo.
See, but I liked Hunter because, I don't know, like, I think that opening scene with him and Kanan it kind of told me a lot about him. Like, he's not just one to follow. Like, he's always looking at what's happening around him. I think he's more perceptive. Of course, he's a hunter. He knows he has that
they literally
sense.
Say that he has a perception ability.
Yeah, but I mean, I like that fact because it's like he could have. The other ones, if they said do it, they probably would have followed along and did it. You know what I mean? But Hunter was the one that kind of stopped him, and I like that dynamic between him and Crosshair. Like, the fact that those two kind of throughout this, this first episode, had that opposing dynamic, really, I think, played well with both their characters. It actually made me like both their characters a lot. Made me know that Crosshair is probably going to be the big bad for this group, at least. Like, he'll get.
I didn't want him to be. I wanted him to come around.
Oh, I know, especially when they had that battle scene when Tarkin put them for that test, and you saw Crosshair climb up, like jump up that thing, take out all those turret guns, and then the rest of them, they were just all falling in and knocking everything out, and you're just like, well, this is what we want to follow. This is what we want to follow. We want them all to defect. But then when you get that little bit of the story that Crosshair already put in a report that they let Kanan go, that they did all these things, and I'm just like, he's not going to come back from that. Like, he's got that.
You know what?
I think he could. I think he could come
well,
back.
that's where my kids all think that that's what's going to happen, that they're going to save him at the end of this season. Like, at the end of the season, they're going to save him.
They fucking better. That's going to be the penultimate scene. Him having fucking Hunter dead to rights with some big other bad, Imperial bad behind him, and then turning the gun. And it's going to be fucking awesome. I think
what's going to happen is they think they're going to save him, they think he's on their side, and it's going to end on a cliffhanger with him still bad infiltrating the group. That's how I think it's going to end. I think he's going to be allegiant to the Empire.
Unless Tech can change the inhibitor chip. He might be able to go back and change the inhibitor chip.
Now,
yeah, they all know about the inhibitor chip. They all know now. So now they know they have to change it.
Maybe.
I like
but what if Tech fails? What if Tech fails? Or what if they do?
I said I like being in on the conversation with you guys on this shit.
But what if they do change the inhibitor chip and he still doesn't go? That's what I'm saying. They change it. They change it.
They've been through battles together. They've shed blood together. I can't see them because he was still with the team until they pushed that thing off. He was still with the team. Omega touched his shoulder in that jail cell, and you saw something change in him at that moment. And then he got yanked away, and they enhanced.
Yeah, she said it's not your fault. It's not your fault because
she did the Goodwill Hunting on him.
My guess is she can see the future. she has kind of future powers because they all have some kind of power. And we don't know what her power is yet. Because remember what the guy said. He's like, the Caminos, they only experiment to do this for a purpose. And I bet she's going to have like an oracle kind
Jedi,
of thing.
like Jedi shit.
Maybe they gave her force power. I don't know.
Also, the lightsabers look way better in this show than they did in Rebels. I'm just going to say that. I didn't like the little needle lightsabers in that show. I like them here. So.
Yeah.
We didn't get a lot of lightsaber. And then we got Saw Gerrera in this.
We did.
Saw Gerrera. That was awesome too. I was like, I know that. I understand that reference. I was fucking Captain America today.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, a lot of interesting stuff. Steve, I think you called out the best. I like seeing them on that one planet and seeing the change in the regular people into the Empire. I thought that was really interesting. You know,
that was different. We'd never seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, because it's in the roots. Like, your money's no good. You've got to follow these things. You can't get on these ships. You can't travel under Empire rule. I mean, we get little snippets. You know, we learned a little bit about it on Mandalorian.
It's kind of like these days. Like, oh, you got that vaccination card? You can't get on this plane unless you got that vaccination card, baby. So, you know,
I got it.
We're one step away from that. That's all I'm saying.
It's not that bad, Steve. Stop it.
Oh man, there was a bar that got in trouble where I live because they were selling fake vaccination cards.
Jesus, really?
That shit is already started.
Don't get a free shot. Jesus. All right. That's it. I think that's a good talk for Bad Batch. I think so too. I think it started great. I can't wait for next week. I'm curious. Are we getting 20-minute, 30-minute episodes, and how long it's going to go? You know?
Well, that first one, that was a doozy. That one was long.
Hour.
But you know what? But it was. I didn't want it to end. I was like, holy shit, this is long, but I still like it. I mean, essentially, we got a 2-hour movie to open up the series.
Yep. Thanks to May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
So thank you guys for pushing the issue. Yes. I'm glad I watched it because I really like it.
I'm glad you did too, man. And you're in the conversation now. You know a little bit more, so that's good.
I was so annoyed at your text back saying that you're like, I don't want to watch it.
Oh man, I was laughing the whole time.
And I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, I can't fight with both of you guys to not watch stuff. It's like, I can't, like, come on, Steve. No, that's all right.
You know I'm gonna watch it. What the fuck else am I gonna do? I got shit to do.
All right, that's it. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for your support. Please subscribe if you want more content. If you want more, we do a ton of stuff. So thank you again. This is Lil.
This is Sean.
And this is Steven. Until next time, everybody, may the force be with you. Keep it geeky.